Our next speaker needs no introduction to young folks. When I tried to explain to some young folks who was speaking, they said, oh, no, we know him. He breaks down the rap for us. Dr. Michael Eric Dyson is one of the nation's most renowned professors, a gifted writer, an inspiring preacher, knowledgeable, an earned PhD. I'll say that one more time, an earned PhD. He is a professor at Princeton University. He has taught at some of the most noted colleges and universities in the country. He is a writer of more than 20 books and currently on the New York Times bestsellers list. As a preacher and sometimes pastor for over 40 years, you wouldn't know it if you looked at him. He is a licensed ordained minister. Dyson has lectured across the nation, and he has also served on television, CNN, MSNBC, and the list goes on and on and on. It is my pleasure to bring to the stage and to welcome to Canton, Ohio, Dr. Michael Eric Dyson. Yes.
Thank you so kindly, Sister Stevens, for that gracious introduction. And to all of you, the distinguished guests here, all of the mayors, Mayor Hale, Mayor Almacy, Mayor Andriana, Mayor Fallon, Mayor Schultz, Mayor Cazaro Perry, and to all of the great and distinguished members, the Reverend Dr. Walter J. Arrington, Chairman of this commission, to Pastor Nadab, to Ms. Johnson, to State Representative Thomas West, who contacted me and got me here, to all of these wonderful students, Sister Allison for introducing them, for Sister Stevens for her graciousness, and Ms. Perry, and to all of you, my brothers and sisters, Brother Stevens, Pastor Ocho, and everybody else, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good morning. Good to be here in Ohio at the University of Michigan. Yeah, I still get bitterness over Woody Hayes. Bullshit representative. What an honor it is to be here at this wonderful gathering and to have the opportunity to hang out with y'all, Sister Perry, and so many others that we had a chance to chat last night, and sitting next to Councilwoman Corey Minor Smith, the first black person citywide elected in Canton. Give it up for her. Reading her new book called #Driven. Y'all go out and get this book. It's got some good stuff in there. Is it a coincidence that the part I was reading was about endo? And today is the first day for medical marijuana? I'm just putting it together for you. She had drug tales up in here. It's like, man, who wrote the introduction? Snoop Dogg? But what a wonderful opportunity it is to renew acquaintance with Dr. Arrington. I was telling him, man, you gave the keynote. He broke down that trust and truth. I know y'all ready for that. So let me tell you right off the bat, I'm gonna hurt everybody's feelings in here today. It's equal opportunity, all right? I'm gonna talk about Trump. Yes, I am. I'm gonna throw some shots at Obama. Yes, I am. Right? And I love them both, one more than the other, but you know what I'm saying. Even white folk are disturbed by Donald Trump, so we know we're in a good place. Jimmy Cricket, what happened? Jesus, we're conservatives, but that's balderdash. We agree. I am honored to be here to address as a state rep my dear friend who got me here this morning, and building bridges for a bold dream. When we think about Martin Luther King Jr., many of us freeze him in a narrow position with which we are both familiar and comfortable. We think about Dr. King and we think, I have a dream. People want to freeze him there, they misquote him even there. Martin Luther King Jr. indeed had a dream, but he addressed the American nightmare. He began that speech 4 years ago. The great American whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. He then went on to talk about this momentous decree came as a great beacon light. Then he talked about many of us who are marooned on an island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. Then he talked about the Negroes in the South couldn't vote, and the Negroes in the North believed they had nothing for which to vote. Then he spoke about police brutality. Then he talked about the marvelous new militancy that has gripped the nation. And then, when Mahalia Jackson, the great singer, standing on the side, because even in the midst of fighting racial oppression, the men practice gender oppression. So the women weren't allowed on stage that day, but even when black women ain't in charge, they ain't in control. And so Mahalia Jackson on the side said, tell him about the dream, Martin. That's because he was reading from a manuscript. That wasn't Martin Luther King Jr. at his best. At his best, he was free from the platform. He was free from the manuscript, and he was able to extemporaneously evoke the great truths and verities into which he had been inducted and inculcated as a youth. And so when she said, tell him about the dream, for anybody else that would have been an A speech, but for him, about a C+. And then when he put the manuscript down, he said, despite the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. Many of our brothers and sisters freeze King when he said, I have a dream one day my 4 little children will live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Many of our conservative brothers and sisters see this as a justification for anti-affirmative action rhetoric, or the notion that color should be dismissed altogether and that character should prevail. That ain't what King said. That was an ideal. That was to be. It wasn't right now. That's like you in your living room looking at the Real Housewives of Canton. Want to live like that. But you in public housing. That's a dream you got. You ain't there yet. And so America freezes King in that dream, but after that dream was articulated in August, and don't get it twisted, they were scared for the march of Negroes, 250,000 in Washington, D.C. They had snipers planted on the top of buildings from the government in case there was raucous behavior. John F. Kennedy, a Democrat, didn't want King and others to come to Washington, D.C. because it was embarrassed him because he hadn't done much about race anyway. Oh, he talked a good game, Northern Liberal Seaboard, but he wasn't producing. He was trying to placate bigots and vicious racists and white supremacists down in the South. And so he had to get elected, so he had to negotiate between them and Martin Luther King Jr. and Whitney Young and Roy Wilkins and the Civil Rights the middle. Then when the king delivered that speech, and they headed to the White House afterward, John F. Kennedy said, I have a dream too. And so sometimes we have to do things even when folk are uncomfortable. Like this morning, we have to challenge ourselves to think about embracing all of Martin Luther King Jr. And when we think about King, King was indeed a Prince of Peace, but he stood in the teeth of violence. We tend to forget that Martin Luther King Jr. was not well loved when he was alive. Many white brothers and sisters saw him as, according to the second in command of the FBI, the most dangerous Negro leader in America. I ain't making that up. Go read it for yourself. The FBI haunted him, surveilled him. If Donald Trump wanted to make a case, he could appeal to Dr. King. Dr. King was haunted and harassed by J. Edgar Hoover, surveilled to no end, because all he wanted to do was to make certain that truth, justice, and democracy prevailed. He loved white brothers and sisters. He said black blood would redeem the nation, but he said we have to share the pain and distribute the misery. And so Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream, but he confronted the nightmare. After that speech was given, he said he saw his dream turn into a nightmare when those 4 girls were blown to their eternal home in Birmingham, Alabama. 4 girls in a church, victims of domestic terrorism. And so, my brothers and sisters, when you gravitate toward Dr. King, you ain't gravitating toward somebody who's going to make you comfortable. Dr. King made people uncomfortable. He made bourgeois Negroes uncomfortable who were in the sanctimonious self-righteousness of their upward mobility, believing they were not like the other Negroes in the hood. And he showed them, y'all in the same boat. Y'all in the same boat together. You might live as a doctor, a lawyer, on Peel Hill, in nice places in the suburbs. Back then, Negroes had to live together. That was the virtue of segregation. You couldn't run nowhere. Wasn't no running to the suburbs. Negroes had to live together, so we had to learn to love each other. Now we live everywhere and don't even know each other. He challenged that by giving his life to make sure that even poor people without education, black and white, could survive and thrive. King was in jail in Birmingham, and his white jailers came to him and said, you know, Dr. King, segregation is right and integration is wrong. He said, no, it's not. They argued back and forth, and then finally Dr. King asked his jailers, how much money do you make? And when they told him, he said, hell, you need to be out here marching with us. Lyndon Baines Johnson said that if you can take the poorest white person and convince him he's better than the smartest black person, you can pick his pockets. He said, hell, if you can convince them they're better than any of those Negroes, they'll pick their pockets for you. We see this right now. We see a man in the White House. He ain't no friend of poor white folk. They said this last election, like 2016, was a referendum on the white working class. This ain't no friend. You on furlough right now. Government shut down right now because this man want to build a wall. Build a wall around 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. That's all right. I know some of y'all voted for him. I ain't mad. I saw Donald Trump at 30 Rock in New York while he was running. The elevator opened up. He said, you've been hard on me, but I love you. If I had your brain in your pipes, I'd be president now. I said, Lord Jesus. He wanted to take a picture with me. You know how you do when you try to with a girl, you don't really know nobody know her, so you go to the side. Let's just take it over here. Then he took me up and down the line. This is a smart man, one of the smartest in America. As an individual, Donald Trump is a hugely charismatic man. No question about that. But it ain't your charisma we worried about. It's your policies. Right? If the man who had the job before he had the job had bread. He ain't getting mad. Y'all called him out of his name, called him a nigger, but went online and under the Fox News thread where it announced that his daughter was going to college, they called her all kinds of names. He was still sweet and noble and majestic in his elegance and his tan suit. Don't hate the player, hate the game. He come out Air Force One, pimp walking. But I wish I could have been his English translator. I know he was in office in the penultimate, the one before the end, where he gave the State of the Union speech. And he told the nation, I don't have any more races to run, and the white Republicans began to clap. Yes, of course. He said that's because I beat you twice. And the thing is, that ain't really what he wanted to say. Now, if I was his English translator, I know the kids up here this morning, so I'm going to just bleep out what I'm saying. You know what I'm going to go, look! I beat you twice! And if it was another race, I whipped you again! But he was too nice. If I was him, I'd come out in a skull cap from the White House. In my terry cloth robe. With my gold grill in. What? Yeah. I'm living in public housing. Obama was incredible, highly intelligent, rhetorically sophisticated. When it came to race, very problematic. He could have done a lot more than he did. He was scared at some point, I get it. Every time he said something about race, white folk got mad, poll numbers started tanking. They did that when you talked about light bread. Whatever you talk about, sir, it's not who you are. It's not what you say, it's who you are. We understand that. And so his timidity on race, his inability to address it. My Bible tells me when you kick a demon out, if you don't put something in its place, 7 worse will take its place. You out of office, I ain't saying that the 7 worst demons came in. I'm just telling a Bible story. And so Martin Luther King Jr. was a man who challenged all presidents, left and right. Lyndon Baines Johnson and Eisenhower, and later on, all of those who would occupy that office. It didn't make a difference to him. And when we freeze King in his I Have a Dream speech, we miss out on the tremendous opportunity to walk with him as he looked at the horizon of American politics. Martin Luther King Jr., the last 3-4 years of his life, spent his life in service of those who were desperately poor. When we look at Appalachia, when we look at the Delta, when we look at Mississippi, when we look at parts of Ohio, when we look at Pennsylvania, when we look at Michigan, when we look at North Carolina, Tennessee, and Mississippi, we see poor white and black and Latinx and others who are suffering. This man we got in office ain't no friend to poor people. Here it is. The poor white people who invested in him, who believed he would do something, and yet a bunch of billionaires being put in office who know nothing about the jobs to which they're assigned. Secretary of Education DeVos, give an education first. Secretary of Housing, Ben Carson. I know you separated them twins, but separate yourself from that craziness that you're doing. Just because you're rich and you're famous don't mean you have competence and knowledge about what to do. And those of you who invested in Donald Trump, don't ever again talk about your narrow notion of affirmative action. He is the most incompetent human being to occupy the White House in the history of the nation. This man making me nostalgic for George Bush. I'm writing Bush an apology letter. Dear George, I thought you were the dumbest ass person that could in the White House. My strategery was wrong. White brothers and sisters are not used to being challenged frontally about racial oppression and white supremacy and white privilege. But if we're going to be honest, we got to talk about that. I know many white people say, hey, stop it. I'm not privileged. You got more money than I do. Your kids do better than mine. I hope so. But what's interesting, not that my kids do better than yours, that I got more money. But I'm a college professor, so you know I might be poor and broke, but I'm speaking on regardless. Or as the brothers in the street say, irregardless. That's like the spelling on the top of your program about the commission. I got it. Don't brag on them. They wanted the I for you to insert yourself in commission. That's how we do it. See, when black folks, see, we got Ebonics. I'm going to break this down for you. This ain't even part of my speech, but I'm going to give you a little extra in here this morning. When black folks speak in Ebonics, that ain't poor English. That's good English. It's got rules. Right? Black English is part of the characteristics of English. It says zero copula. What is a copula? A copula is a form of the verb to be. And so we cut out the middleman and get right to the subject and the action. Not I am going, I be going. Not who is that? Who that? Right? My daddy spoke about it from Albany, Georgia. He said, I'm fixing to go to the store. I know y'all don't know about that. Y'all are highfalutin here in Canton. Hall of Fame. I know you don't know. Right? And when he really got going, he said, I'm fixing to go to the store. When you going to be back? I'll be back directly. Directly is that a geographical mishap? The point of your departure is significantly different than the point of your return, but I wanted to live and I had to ask him that. So here we are in a nation where poverty is across the board, where white brothers and sisters are suffering, where Latinx brothers and sisters are suffering, where poor black people are suffering, and yet we live in a nation that refuses to acknowledge their humanity. We must all join together, and we got more in common than we have apart. But I know that some white folk don't want to hear about white privilege. They say, look, you got more money, you got more opportunity. That ain't what white privilege is all about. It was Jim Crow. Only white folk went to Harvard. It don't mean all white folk went to Harvard. It meant the only folk going to Harvard were white. That's the difference. You still got to work and do your thing and have the hookup. Right? Affirmative action, what's better than that? What's more a definition of affirmative action than legacy and mentees? My daddy went there. My great-granddaddy went there. I'm an athlete. If you black and you big and you can run a pigskin or you can shoot a ball, you are worthy. No disrespect to C.J. McCollum. He's a bad boy. He's a dang doing that thing out there. Important. Right? But we do more than that. We be talking and thinking and speaking and reflecting and criticizing. We do that too. So as long as we serve you on a gridiron or a field of play, we're fine. The moment we step off, you get nervous about us and shoot us. Hands up, get shot. Hands down, get shot. Run from the cops, get shot. Don't run from the cops, get shot. Tell you we got a gun, get shot. Say we ain't got a gun, get shot. It ain't what we do, it's who we are.
All right.
And folks be calling the police on us trying to go to Starbucks just to get a cup of coffee. Can't sell water on the street, our daughters. Son selling lemonade. Cops get called on us. Having a barbecue and open. What's more un-American than dividing Negroes from barbecue? And so the greatest white privilege could be the following. When you meet a cop on the street and live to tell about it, that's a privilege. So Martin Luther King Jr. challenged that. We challenge the black church too. We look around and we see all these folks practicing their variety of homophobia. I go to black church, out to the church in Cleveland. I ain't gonna tell you where. Woman came up to me, black woman, said, you know you're going to hell. I said, man, did Jesus tell you that already? I said, well, I don't even have to watch my cholesterol then. Let me go on said, why am I going there? She said, you know why. You preached this morning that God made gay people. I said, you think I'm going there? You must be a polytheist. Is there a different God for gay people than straight people? I thought God was God of everybody. Republicans and Democrats and independents, black, white, red, brown, yellow, gay, straight, transgender. I thought either God is God and God created everybody or God ain't created nobody. She said, well, you know, they chose to be gay. I didn't choose to be black. I said, is that how it works? I said, a newsflash. There are some black people who have opted out of the plan. I ain't gonna name no names. He going to the Supreme Court every day. I ain't gonna name no names. But what I'm saying, I said Clarence Carter's one of my favorite singers. What do you mean? What are you people talking about? Kanye. But what I'm saying, I love Kanye. That's my man. My God, what happened to Kanye? I said, ma'am, how do you choose to be gay? If you choose to be gay, that means you chose to be straight. Right? If it's a choice, that means at some point in your life you chose to be straight. What do you want your mom at 13 look? I've been considering the options. And I'm going to be straight. Is that how it works? Here we are in the Bible Belt, the bubble of the Bible Belt. We trying to make God co-sign our bigotry? Trying to make God a fellow bigot? Howard Thurman, the great black mystic, said a bigot is a person who makes an idol of his commitments. And here you are trying to make God hate gay people? Build a wall between you and those people? That's not how it works, my brothers and sisters. If you love God, how you going to use the same Bible that was used against you against gay people? Same church mad at gay people, mad at women too. I got kicked out of a church when I was in my early 20s, 200 years ago, down in Tennessee. I was a young preacher trying to live the gospel. I said, if we're against racism, we got to be against sexism too. They believed it. I got there for a year. I taught every day, every week in Bible study. I'm teaching scriptures about patriarchy and teaching about sexism and teaching about the way in which women's lives are denigrated under misogyny. And then one morning I came to church. The church was full. I said, man, I must be getting good. Look at all these people in church I've never seen before. I put my key in the door, it didn't work. I said, that's all right, they're giving me a new office. That's great. Got up and preached that morning, and after I finished, the deacon got up and said, Reverend Dyson, we got a problem in this church. I said, let's deal with it. He said, the problem is you. They proceeded to vote me out of that church. Black people. Right? Because I was trying to ordain 3 women. And the minister said, you're going to let this yellow nigga come down here and destroy our Baptist church. I know white folk don't get the internecine squabbles over color, so link to them later on and describe what yellow versus brown versus black means. It's too deep to go into right now. And so I paid the price for that, got kicked out. Understood what that meant, but I had already been kicked out of school. I got kicked out of school because, despite making straight A's in philosophy, I was protesting the fact they only had 1 speaker a year at school. And when I asked them why, they said, because given your percentage, that's all you deserve. So I was caught between white supremacy on the one hand and black resistance to truth on the other. Martin Luther King Jr. occupied that space. 2 months before he died, he had a meeting with black ministers. He said, if you're more concerned about the wheelbase on your Cadillac than you are about the poor black people you serve, you are not trustworthy. And then he said to white America, most Americans are unconscious racists. That's not the king we remember on this holiday. That's not the king you go when you go to Burger King and you put your hamburger on his mustache and your fries on his eyes on the placemat. You got to do more than honor him with a placemat. You got to put the right place in your life from those who serve you the French fries. Those who serve you the hamburgers, even at the White House when Clemson goes there. My brothers and sisters, Martin Luther King Jr. was indeed a bridge for a bold dream, but that bold dream has to tell the truth about where we are. You and I have the opportunity to build something together, a great nation that understands what democracy is all about, a great nation that understands that sexism and homophobia and misogyny and anti-Muslim and anti-Mexican fury will not do. Here we are trying to keep immigrants out. This is a nation of immigrants. If they did that against your granddaddy and your great-granddaddy, you wouldn't even be here. They could have said the same thing. We scared of them. They were scared of the Eastern European people coming over here. Why do you think they call it a paddy wagon? The Irish were here. And when the Irish came, they were treated like black folk initially. They weren't the pure white people. The Italians were not the poor white people. And in the back of the police wagon, they call it the paddy wagon because they said the Irish got drunk and they were taking them to jail. The Irish committed crime and they were taking them to jail. The Irish and the Italian came here deeply and profoundly prejudiced against, but they were able to work their way out because they were able to become white. African American people get stuck with this beautiful brown we got. We ain't white eligible. Oh, some of us think we is. We think it to ourselves. We bleach our minds, but we still black at the end of the day. As Jay-Z said, poor, rich, black, still. Jay-Z, the rapper, Sean Carter, Mr. Beyonce, when the rivers in the system ain't no tellin', will I love her, will I diss them? That's what they be yelling out. Pimp out blood, not relay song, y'all. Still chase on, replay song, huh? I know y'all dancing to that out there. And that's why I like these young people. Martin Luther King Jr. spent his last days defending young people, especially those who were gang members. He didn't defend them being in the gang. He said the biggest gang was the American government dropping bombs in Vietnam. So when we look at some of these young people, I look at hip-hop culture, I know a lot of y'all turned off by it, I get it. Especially this mumble rap, I don't know what the hell they saying. I'm from the old school, right? I ride with Councilwoman Smith, and we rock into the 90s. Rock Camp, something you didn't understand. Standing by the speaker, suddenly I had a fever, wasn't me or even summer madness. Because I just can't stand around, so I get closer, and the closer I get, the better it sounds. My mind starts to activate, rhymes collaborate. Because when I heard the beat, I just activate something from the top of my head. So I fell into the groove of the wax, and I said, how can I move the crowd? First of all, ain't no mistakes allowed. Now I don't know what they're saying. Pound, 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 100 pound, 50 pound, 50 pound, 50 pound, 50 pound. What? You know what I'm saying? No, actually, I do not know what you're saying. Only part I understood, walking like you talk. Hey! Oh! That I got. You listen to these young people, Biggie, Notorious B.I.G., I know y'all know him. I used to fuss when the landlord dissed us. No heat, wondered why Christmas missed us. Birthdays was the worst days. Now we sip champagne. When we first stayed, damn right I like the life I live. Because I went from negative to positive, and it's all good. And if you don't know, I don't want white people to get twisted here. Don't change. If I wasn't in the rap game, I'd probably have a key knee deep in the crack game. Because the streets is a short stop. Either you swing your crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot. Damn, it's hard being young from the slums, eating flies and gums. I know where your meal's coming from. What happened to the summertime cookout? Every time I turn around, the brothers being took out. And by the way, Biggie also gave one of the immortal lines. Your president was trying to say he felt he could grab women. That's not what hip-hop at its best has ever been about. Biggie said, some say the X makes the sex spectacular. Make me look you from your neck to your back, then a tongue deliverer chills up that spine. That's mine. If it's all right with you, we're loving. That's seeking permission, sir. That's affirmative consent. Just so you know. Tupac said, somebody wake me up dreaming. I started as a seed, the semen, swimming upstream, planted in the womb while screaming. On the top was my pops, my mama hollering stop from a single drop. This is what they got? Not to disrespect my people, but my papa was a loser. Only plan he had, my mama was a blanker and abuser. And even as a seed, I can see his plan for me, stranded on welfare, another broken family. All Maxine used to listen to them. Jay-Z said, now all my teachers couldn't reach me and my mama couldn't beat me hard enough to match the pain of my pop not seeing me. So, with that disdain, remembering that on a pimp game like the world, my defense game. Listen to the agony, listen to the pain as I close out, listen to the heartbreak and the horror that Martin Luther King Jr. addressed, that these young people address. You must listen to them, you must hear them, you must understand their misery, you must understand their impulse to suicide, you must understand the self-hurting that they do, because they live in a culture that continues to disallow them their humanity, that refuses to acknowledge the full depth and breadth of their citizenship as Americans in this nation. So we got to come together as I close. If you want to have a bridge built to a bold dream, at the end you got to love women. Celebrate women. Acknowledge women. Don't just read this great book, #driven. Start there. Think about all of the women in your life who deserve to be celebrated.
All right now.
Think about the women in this nation who continue to suffer because they make less than what a man does, doing the same work and sometimes even more. Think about the need of these women to support our children. And I was talking to the good brother who talks about these young people going around the country, $400, $500 you give, that they can go. I'm going to give myself 2 scholarships. Can you match me? I'm a guest. I'm from Detroit. I ain't even from Ohio. University of Michigan up in here. Y'all gonna let a University of Michigan Wolverine beat you? I'm giving 2 scholarships. What you got on it? And those women and men who continue to do a good thing. And I want to say this to you. Back in my day, we used to sing songs. I ain't saying we were perfect, but we wasn't calling no women no bitch, house, geese, slut, good, bad, chicken head. We were begging them. We had songs like that. Have you seen her? I see her face as the cold wind blows on the street, even at the picture show. Have you seen it? Why? Oh, why? We get philosophical about it. Did she have to leave, man? Go away. Go. Oh, I've been used. You gotta say every word they were saying. To having someone. Now I'm lost. Baby, I'm lost. Then girl, man, see things. Today I saw somebody who looked just like you. She walked like you do. I thought it. But wait a minute. As she turned the corner, I called out, Shanann, Shanann. I felt so ashamed that it wasn't you. Y'all don't know nothing about that. And then the girl turned into a stalker. We didn't mind. Each day through my window, I watch her as... Wait a minute, man. How many days you been watching her? For a year? Somebody called the police on that show. I'm about to end. Slow down. Give it 2 more minutes. Can I have 2 more minutes? 2 more minutes. That's all. Okay, give me 3. Give me 3. Do I get 3? Give me 3. Go. 1, 2, 3. minutes sex. Not really. I love you, Trey Songz, but you didn't do that. I think Barry White might have helped invent that. Playing your game, baby.